Stop for a moment before you scroll away, because this message might arrive at the exact moment your heart needs to hear it today. Sometimes life becomes so heavy that you start wondering if things will ever change. Maybe you have been trying your best, maybe you have been praying quietly, maybe you have been holding hope inside your heart even when nobody else understands what you are going through, and maybe there are nights when you look at your situation and ask yourself why everything feels so difficult. If that sounds familiar, then listen carefully, because this message may be for you right now. Many people believe that when life becomes difficult it means something has gone wrong, but sometimes the hardest seasons of life are actually the seasons that prepare you for the greatest transformation. The truth is that growth often happens in silence. When a seed is planted in the ground, nothing looks different on the surface. The soil looks exactly the same as before, but underneath the surface something powerful is happening. The seed is slowly developing roots. Those roots are preparing the plant for the moment when it finally grows above the ground and becomes strong enough to face the wind, the rain, and the storms. In the same way, your life may be going through a quiet season where change is happening even though you cannot see it yet. The teachings connected with the life of Jesus Christ often remind people that patience and faith are two of the most powerful strengths a person can develop, because when someone learns how to stay hopeful during uncertainty, they become stronger than the problems around them. Many people lose hope not because their journey has ended, but because they cannot see the progress happening in front of them. They want immediate answers, they want instant results, they want proof that everything will work out, but life rarely reveals the entire path at once. Instead, life shows the next step only after you have the courage to keep moving forward. Imagine someone climbing a mountain. When they stand at the bottom, the top looks impossible to reach, the distance looks overwhelming, and the effort required feels exhausting. But step by step they begin climbing. At first the progress feels slow. Sometimes the path becomes steep, sometimes the wind becomes strong, sometimes the climber feels like giving up. But if they continue moving forward, eventually they reach a point where they can see the landscape below them. What once looked impossible becomes proof of their perseverance. Life often works in the same way. The strength you are developing today may become the reason you succeed tomorrow. Another important lesson that appears again and again in the teachings inspired by Jesus Christ is the idea that your value is not defined by your current circumstances. Many people make the mistake of believing that temporary problems determine their future. When something goes wrong, they immediately assume that their opportunities have disappeared, but circumstances change far more often than people realize. The situation you face today may look completely different 1 year from now. The key is to remain steady while the process unfolds. Another secret to inner strength is learning how to guide your thoughts. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it can either support your growth or slow it down depending on how you use it. When challenges appear, the mind often fills with fear, doubt, and negative expectations. Thoughts begin repeating questions like, what if nothing improves? What if things become worse? What if I am not strong enough to handle this situation? But these thoughts do not represent the full truth, they only represent the fears that appear when the mind focuses on uncertainty. Resilient people learn how to redirect their attention toward hope, possibility, and purpose instead of allowing fear to control their perspective. They choose to believe that their journey still has meaning even when the outcome is not yet visible. Another powerful lesson about resilience is understanding that setbacks are not the end of the story. Many of the most successful and inspiring people in history experienced moments when everything seemed to go wrong. They faced rejection, failure, criticism, and disappointment, but those experiences did not stop them. They used those moments as lessons that helped them grow wiser, stronger, and more determined. Every challenge carries a hidden opportunity for growth. The question is whether you are willing to look for it or whether you allow discouragement to hide it from you. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs happen right after the most difficult moments. This is why perseverance matters so much. Perseverance means continuing to move forward even when the path feels uncertain. It means believing that your effort still has value even when progress feels slow. It means trusting that every step you take today is preparing you for something greater tomorrow. Another important part of resilience is gratitude. Gratitude may seem simple, but it has the power to transform the way you see your life. When people focus only on what they are missing, they begin to feel discouraged and hopeless, but when they pause and appreciate what they already have, their perspective begins to change. Gratitude reminds you that even during difficult seasons, there are still blessings present in your life. Maybe you still have the ability to learn, to grow, to improve, to try again. These things are powerful gifts that many people forget to notice. Over time, gratitude creates a mindset that supports resilience because it balances struggle with appreciation. Another lesson about strength is patience. Patience does not mean doing nothing, it means continuing your effort even when results take time. Many people give up just before something important begins to happen. They assume their effort has been wasted when in reality they were only one step away from progress. Imagine someone digging for water. They dig into the ground for a long time, but they find nothing. Eventually they become tired and decide to stop, but what they did not realize is that water was only a few inches deeper. If they had continued digging just a little longer, they would have discovered the breakthrough they were searching for. Life often contains moments like this. The key is to keep going long enough to reach the reward that patience can bring. Another message that appears frequently in the teachings inspired by Jesus Christ is the importance of compassion, not only toward others but also toward yourself. Many people treat themselves too harshly. When they make mistakes, they replay their failures again and again until they begin believing that they are not capable of success. But mistakes are part of growth. Every person learns through experience. Every person improves through trial and error. When you approach your challenges with patience, understanding, and determination, you create the conditions that allow real transformation to occur. Eventually there comes a moment when you realize how much stronger you have become. The same problems that once felt overwhelming no longer control your emotions. The same fears that once stopped your progress no longer have the same power. This transformation does not happen overnight. It develops slowly through persistence, faith, learning, and growth. The secret to resilience is not avoiding difficulty. The secret is learning how to rise each time life tries to push you down. And when you understand this truth, you begin to see every challenge in a different way. Instead of asking why this is happening to me, you begin asking, what can this experience teach me? This shift in perspective changes everything because it turns obstacles into opportunities and problems into lessons. And over time, those lessons build the strength that allows you to face the future with confidence. Remember this message: whenever life feels uncertain, your story is still being written. The chapter you are living right now is not the final chapter. There are still opportunities waiting to appear. There are still doors waiting to open, and there are still moments of joy, success, and peace waiting ahead of you. Sometimes the most powerful transformations begin quietly when nobody else can see them, but that does not mean they are not real. Keep moving forward, keep believing that your effort matters, and keep trusting that your journey still has meaning, because the moment you think nothing is happening may actually be the moment when everything in your life is slowly preparing to change.